This is Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. Here's your host, Mark Neuse.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Columbus Concerns. I'm Mark Neuse, and we have two guests with us from the American Legion Post in Gahanna. We have the commander of the post, Gary Filacetta, and we also have the finance officer, Tom Nealon, and I'd like to welcome you both back to the program. We've talked with these folks before from Gahanna. They always have a lot going on over there, and there's something very special coming up. It's going on right now this weekend, and let's start off with Gary. Gary, tell us what's going on in Gahanna with the American Legion Post, and I think other people are involved in it as well.
We are sponsoring the Vietnam Memorial Traveling Wall, and it'll be here from October 2nd through October 6th, and the wall will be available for viewing 24 hours a day.
I know that there have been replica walls here in Central Ohio before, and it's always a very cool thing to go see, especially for the veterans from Vietnam. And Tom, can you tell us a little bit about, have you seen one of these before and what it's like?
Well, I can say that I was fortunate to have visited Washington, D.C. right after the wall opened over there, the actual, the primary wall that was put up by donations. And that's the one that I've experienced, and to experience it is very moving because of the visitors that are there with you who actually lost members of their family or other loved ones that did not return from Vietnam. So we're really excited about having the wall visit Gahanna. There have been several traveling walls throughout Ohio the last couple years, and it seems like they always provide healing for friends and family and loved ones to visit and be able to look for their loved ones on the wall or get rubbings and things like that. So.
Yeah, very powerful experience. Yes. And I know that when the wall has been here before, Gary, they don't really want like a carnival atmosphere around it. It's more of a very dignified thing.
They actually consider the area around the wall sacred ground. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is sort of to reflect and look back and think about your loved ones and what they've been through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I understand it's they're encouraging visitors though 24 hours a day, and there's plenty of parking. Tell us about the parking situation.
Well, we have two lots actually. And it's backed by the Gahanna Swim Club. Mm-hmm. So there'll be plenty of directional signage to guide people back to the parking area. Mm-hmm. And then it's just a small walk from that area up to the wall. Everything's going to be in close proximity to the parking lot.
Terrific.
And we'll all have handicap parking available up front by the Brick Memorial.
Terrific.
So.
Just, I guess, to add to that, there will be people there, volunteers that will be part of our group, and we've actually signed up close to 70 volunteers so far to help with this, with the visit from people. So we want to make sure people know that there will be somebody there to help them if they have questions or if there's issues that they run into where they need direction or information. But I think from the parking perspective, we will also have volunteers helping with parking too. So it won't be where they got to seek and find. They'll, when they come, we're going to help them, get their car planted and come up and visit the wall like they came for.
And the wall, of course, is going to be at Veterans Park in Gahanna. That's 73 Johnstown Road. And you can go see the wall. Our guests today on the program are from the American Legion Post in Gahanna. Gary Filacetta is the commander, and Tom Nealon, the finance officer. And Tom, it sounds like this is sort of a Gahanna community project, that there's more than just the American Legion post involved in this.
Yeah, there is, and I'll let Gary, weigh in on this too. But we've got a number of groups that are working with us. Obviously, the VFW post 4719, which is where our post home is in their facility, and then we also have the Lions Club, which Gary is also a member of, because they're helping to feed the volunteers and things like that, and do other things. But the Gahanna community has really rallied around this, and I really am very hopeful that this is going to be just a huge success, and people will find this to be a very, very good representation of what they came to see.
And Gary, sounds like a real point of pride for the Gahanna community.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I want to shout out to the Gahanna Parks and Rec personnel. They have been tremendously helpful in helping us get the site ready for the wall, and they've striped the parking lots for us. They're providing the digital access signs, and really just the whole group from Parks and Rec have come together and kind of made it their project too. So I'm very proud of them, very proud to work with them on this project.
Sounds terrific. And again, it's the Veterans Park at 73 Johnstown Road in Gahanna, and it's going to be there again for from the 2nd to the 6th of October. It's the replica of the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. We've had these sort of things come through Central Ohio today, and they've always been very, very well attended, not only by veterans but by folks in general. So that it's coming to Gahanna, so make sure you put that on your calendar and get out there and see it. When it comes to the American Legion post in general, talk a little bit about how many members you have, and are you always looking for new members?
Well, currently we have about 380 members, and we're always looking for new veterans to join our organization. The American Legion, the strength of the organization is always the amount of veterans that we have, and we try to do as much as we can. We try to get all the veterans involved. It's not always possible. Most people want to be just a member of the American Legion and not really participate. But we'd like to get more veterans involved in daily post activities.
Tom, do you outreach to younger veterans these days, trying to get them involved?
Yeah, and that's really the primary target for us, although, we still have a number of Vietnam veterans that can still participate and join our post. World War II, we're just about to the end of that. And it's really sad because we did have quite a few World War II era and Korea era veterans, and they're passing every day. And those folks, we miss them, and they contributed so much to our post. But yes, the younger generation that have primarily fought with the war on terrorism, they're really those that we're trying to convince that the American Legion is really a good place to come and show your patriotism, and also work on projects for veterans, because that's what it's all about.
Talk about who's eligible to join, Gary.
Well, any veteran who served in any of the conflicts from World War II clear up through Iraq and Afghanistan is eligible for the American Legion.
Do you have an auxiliary, Tom?
Yeah, there's a ladies' auxiliary. I'm not as familiar with them because they have just recently gotten active again, so they're really coming back to help, and they're actually going to participate with us with the wall on some things that they've committed to. But I would like to make a mention about membership. Unlike the VFW, where you had to serve in a foreign country, in wartime, with the American Legion, you don't. If there's so many veterans that didn't go to war, overseas or out of the country, that are here in the United States, they're also eligible to join the American Legion. And there's a lot of benefits to joining because of stuff at the national level that they make available. So it's really a great organization.
Yeah, Gary, at 380 members, that sounds like a pretty good size to represent the Gahanna community.
It certainly is. We wish that all 380 would come to the meetings, but we know that that's not possible.
Sure.
But when you get more at the meetings, you increase your productivity, and you have a better outreach to contact the members and let them know what are the benefits that are available to them.
Of course, the best way to keep informed and to keep up to date with everything that's going on is to check out your website. What is the website for your post?
The website address is www.al797oh.org.
Repeat that again, if you would.
Okay, www.al797oh.org.
And that's the website address for the American Legion Post 797 in Gahanna, Ohio. And once again, as we wrap up this morning, we just want to take some time out again to tell you about the replica. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial is coming to Gahanna. In fact, it's here right now this weekend, and it's available for the public to view 24 hours a day. And Gary, again, tell us where it's going to be and how you get there.
The memorial will be at Veterans Park in Gahanna. The address is 73 Johnstown Road, and it is accessible from all areas of the freeways, the Outer Belt, 670. Just follow the signs to Gahanna, and there will be signage that will point you in the direction of the wall.
Tom, how long have you guys been working on getting this here?
Well, Gary started this back when Crystal and I were working on the Walk in Our Boots effort that we have, and Gary's been doing work to get this to Gahanna probably about a year and a half. So it's been quite a while to pull this off. It's a big deal to really get a commitment, and some of the things we have to do to get it here is pretty amazing.
And Gary, tell us a little bit about what's the organization behind the wall that actually brings it here and sets it up and everything.
They sort of are an outreach from the wall in Washington. Okay, but they are located. This group that has the traveling wall, they are located in Florida, and that is kind of their central hub, and then they go from there throughout the whole United States. So it was difficult to get a hold of them and get a commitment and a date for them to be here.
Yeah.
So like I said, or like Tom said, it's taken me about a year and a half to get this for them to commit to us to bring the wall here.
Well, it's a terrific thing, not only for the American Legion Post, but for the entire Gahanna community. The replica wall coming to Gahanna. In fact, it's there right now, 73 Johnstown Road at Veterans Park, and it's open 24 hours a day through the 6th. And we'd like to thank our guests from the American Legion Post 797 for being here with us today. Gary Filicetta, who is the commander, and the finance officer, Tom Nealon. And good luck, and we'll see you in the spring when the walk comes along.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Also on the program this morning, we're going to talk a little bit about how the state wants to recruit and retain volunteer firefighters. With us today is the Chief Deputy Fire Marshal for the state of Ohio, Richard Sluter. And Rick, thanks for coming by today.
Thank you for having us.
Now, I know that you're always trying to recruit volunteer firefighters, and you have a new tool to do that. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, we nationally over the last year or so, there's been the Make Me a Firefighter campaign. And so what the Ohio Fire Marshal's Office has done is we've sort of refined that down to our website, designed a portal so that the people interested in joining a volunteer fire department are directed directly to a fire department here in Ohio in their community. And we work that on because of our knowledge of the local fire departments, the area they cover, we can get the people directed into the right department easier than we can on a national campaign.
Last year, some folks from the Fire Marshal's Office stopped by here at the radio station, and they talked a little bit about the Fire Marshal Festival you were having last year
Right.
out in near the Reynoldsburg area.
Yeah, that's coming up next Saturday.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And they were saying at that time that there was almost a crisis when it came to finding enough people to be volunteer firefighters. The numbers have been dwindling, especially in certain areas of the state. Are you still finding that to be the trend?
Yeah, absolutely. Just since 2018, Ohio has noticed a 6.5% decrease in volunteer firefighters. Nationally, we're about 13% over the last 10 years. And that's all where the call volumes are increasing 50 to 60% in that same amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting because you hear the same thing from most organizations these days, that people are so busy in their everyday lives, it's hard for them to be joiners. You know, it's hard for them to join fraternal organizations or any other type of thing. But this is a little bit different because this is something where you can really give back to your community.
Yeah, absolutely. And the tough part about volunteering for the fire department is you never know when you're going to be needed, unlike a lot of organizations where you can schedule your volunteer time. But yeah, this truly is when a volunteer when your community's in a time of need. And a lot of times you see the big fire and you see a lot of people there but oftentimes the big thank yous come just from them simple little calls where you get to help your neighbor. And that's where your largest satisfaction comes from is knowing that you can help.
And about what percentage of the state is covered by volunteer firefighters?
So in the best numbers that we have at the Fire Marshal's Office, we're right between about 65, 68% of the firefighters in Ohio are volunteer. And that's a total number of about 35,000 certified firefighters in Ohio.
And talk a little bit about what it takes to become a volunteer firefighter. What kind of training do you have to go through?
Well, there's a couple different levels of volunteer firefighter in Ohio now that we've got some new training requirements. We've got what's called not a first responder, but we have the 36-hour volunteer fire card, which allows you to do interior firefighting. And we're getting ready to replace that with the emergency responder level certification, where there'll be an exterior firefighter. So you can get certified to help your local fire department, and you don't have to be certified to go interior firefighting, wear a respirator. And that seems to be a lot of concern. A lot of people want to volunteer, but they don't want to take that level of, and that's okay. And we also are going to have the fire apparatus driver operator. For a lot of your rural fire departments have to shuttle water versus have hydrants. And so we've created the driver operator certification for people that simply want to help their local fire department by exercising the pump operations course and driving apparatus. And so beyond that, then you can get into the 120-hour course, or what we call Firefighter 1, which is your basic fire instruction course to get certified to do interior firefighting or to operate in hazardous environments where you need to wear the respirator, the SCBA.
Rick, tell us, before we go any further, if somebody's interested in what they're hearing, how do they reach the portal?
Simply go to the Ohio Fire Marshal's website. If you search Ohio Fire Marshal Volunteer Recruit or just Ohio Fire Marshal Volunteer, it'll take you directly to our portal. It's on the Ohio Department of Commerce website under the Fire Marshal, and you'll be listed. It'll ask you a few questions about who you are, how you can be contacted, and where you live, and then we will direct you to the closest volunteer fire department according to your address.
When it comes to the volunteer fire departments around Ohio, where do they get their resources to operate?
So all resources for fire departments in Ohio are based on local government. They're all controlled by local government. Majority of your volunteer fire departments in Ohio are township operated, meaning that most of that comes from property tax that the township levies. Usually a fire and EMS or a combined levy. That's where they generate the funds at. Also, volunteer fire departments spend a lot of time raising money as fundraisers that you see, chicken barbecues and so forth, to raise money to fund their operation. Many times the townships are purchasing apparatus, and then the organization or the membership is raising money to buy turnout gear, to buy their protective equipment and so forth. Many volunteer fire departments, they offer small stipends to participate, whether it's based on an hourly rate, whether it's based on showing up per call. And some are truly volunteer, where they don't receive any compensation at all. So it's a mixture across the board across Ohio.
Rick, in addition to what you do in the recruiting aspect, what else does the state fire marshals do when it comes to coordinating and helping out local fire departments?
We're simply here to provide them resources. We provide resources so they can provide solutions to their communities as far as what their community needs, because we don't want to come in at a state level and say this is what you need to do. But we want to provide those resources, whether it's training. We provide free training for all volunteers in Ohio, so you can come to the Ohio Fire Academy and receive all of your training that we offer. All the 88 classes we offer there, if you're a volunteer, are completely free. That's room, that's board, that's meals. That's completely free if you're a volunteer firefighter in Ohio. We also have regional delivery programs where we take several. We've got, I believe, 8, and we're expanding about to 11 or 12 next year of basic fire training classes and safety classes that we actually take to the departments. We set our skills trailers up, and we offer 2 to 3 to 4 day trainings at these departments across Ohio, where we go to, say, one county and invite all the fire departments from that county to join us at a several-day training event.
So if I became a volunteer firefighter or prospective volunteer firefighter, and I came for the training at the Fire Academy, and that's in Reynoldsburg, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
East Main Street in Reynoldsburg.
And talk a little bit about what the volunteers would go through once they arrive there.
So when you go through the fire training at our academy, that's no different than what we are putting the career or full-time people through. It's a 9-week academy where you're learning all the skills up to what's considered the level 2 firefighter curriculum, where you could come there as a volunteer and you could leave there with the certification to become a full-time firefighter or a career firefighter here in Ohio.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty intense training then.
It sure is, yeah.
Anything less, of course, would put their lives at risk.
Exactly, and we don't want to differentiate when you come out there. Hey, this is the firefighter training. Now, in the local communities, many will receive the basic level training so that they can begin to operate, because we don't want to provide a one solution for everybody. And you go to your local fire department, you can get your basic level training, firefighter 1 training, and you can start out learning on the job. After you receive your certification, start wearing your SCBA, your respirator. And then as you progress through your career and continue certified programs, you can build that up into a transition course and eventually receive that same level of training.
What are the qualifications for becoming a volunteer firefighter? Age qualifications or health qualifications?
Okay, there's no age qualifications in Ohio as far as that goes when it comes to volunteer firefighting. And health qualifications is depending on what level you want to participate at. Firefighter apparatus, driver operator, or firefighter support firefighter. You got to be somewhat able-bodied to maneuver around, lift heavy things, pull and drag, and hose, run equipment, drive safely. But when it comes to interior firefighting, now you have to be, you got to be somewhat physically fit, and you got to be healthy enough to pass a medical screen like you would if you wore a respirator at any other job you worked at. To safely, basically the respiratory qualifications to where you can breathe unobstructed. It helps if you're not a smoker and you're physically fit to do that, because regardless whether you're a volunteer or a career firefighter, the public's expecting you to show up and do a professional job, and you have to be able to be physically able to help somebody and rescue them if needed.
Rick Sluter is here, the Chief Deputy Fire Marshal for the state of Ohio, talking about the new portal that they have to make it easier for Ohioans to connect with their local fire departments and become volunteer firefighters. And again, just go to the Fire Marshal's website and you can get a link to the portal and probably answer most of the questions that people would have when it comes to becoming a volunteer firefighter. Obviously, men, women, everyone's
Everyone, absolutely. Everyone's welcome. I've been in the fire service 35 years now, and females were very slim to none in the fire service. But the fire department I come from up in Northwest Ohio, we're up to about 35% of the volunteers are female now, and the staff, so that that's been growing exponentially across Ohio and across the nation.
Have the number of fire runs been increasing in Ohio?
Absolutely. The number of structure fires is actually down, but the number of calls to the fire department are increasing because we expect more from them on different types of calls, whether it's traffic crashes, hazardous materials calls, suspicious package calls. So the level of expertise that we expect from the fire service has gone up, and the public doesn't differentiate between a volunteer fire department and a paid fire department. They expect emergency services. And also the amount of emergency medical calls is going up. And many times our volunteer fire departments are the first responders for those EMS calls because the EMS call is much more than just the ambulance ride to the hospital. It's getting the person out of a house, getting them safely in an ambulance and to the hospital. And majority of the time that involves the local fire department.
So, Rick, on one hand, you have increasing number of calls, and on the other hand, decreasing number of volunteers. So it's a tough situation right now. And do you have any goals when it comes to the portal or how you want to increase the number of firefighters?
So recruitment is always something you have to do locally. In your volunteer fire department, you have to really get your community engaged. What we want to do at the state level is just give them the tool to do that so that communications tool is out there. It used to be you relied on word of mouth, where a buddy knew that buddy, and that's how you got on the volunteer fire department. And we know in society that that's all changed now. And so we've adopted that social media thought process. That's what we've got out here on this portal. And we just want to make it easier for the new methods of communication we have in our social norms to, hey, that's part of getting on the fire department. Here it is, and people know about it. They're willing to do it, and they feel comfortable. Many people are scared to research what the fire service is about because they just think it's not about them. Once they realize it's just normal people doing really extraordinary things, and they feel they can do that, we make them feel welcome, and then they're willing to approach their local volunteer fire department and get engaged.
Obviously, you're a firefighter, so tell us about the rewards of being a firefighter.
Oh, the number one thing is just knowing that you did your best to be able to help somebody. There's no greater reward than helping your neighbor, or even helping somebody you don't know. Is even somebody coming through your community in a time of distress, you help them out. It not only makes you feel good, it really makes your community look good. And there's no greater reward than that, well beyond whatever compensation you might receive.
So once again, as we wrap up here, talk a little bit about, again, just go to the website and what will people find when they see this portal?
They'll see a couple pictures of our training going on, and it'll basically an easy fillable form, whether you're using a portable device or whether you're using a PC or laptop. You can just fill out your name, your address, your contact information, a little bit of information about how to contact you, where you live, because where you live is where you spend most of your time. We want to get you directed to the closest volunteer fire department or a fire department that needs volunteers. And it'll put your name directly in contact with the person responsible, and it's usually the fire chief at that fire department, to contact you. It'll ask for simple things like cell phone number and email.
Our guest on the program today has been Chief Deputy Fire Marshal Rick Sluter. And Rick, thanks for stopping by and for all the work you do, and good luck with the portal.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. You can send questions or comments about today's show to Columbus Concerns in care of this station, 1458 Dublin Road, Columbus 43215. Or email us at columbusconcerns@napcomedia.com.